Hello, Internet. Welcome to our latest episode of our podcast from Kopitiam Council. And as usual, I'm your host, Hafiz, and I'm with
Nikki
and Ifti. I'll do a little point as well.
Correct. So these are the three guys who try to lead conversation in Sabah. Isn't it so, guys?
Yes.
Try.
This is Kopitiam Council, where liberal minds meet.
To start off with our podcast today, I would like to touch on a very recent controversial issue at Kimanis by-election. You guys heard about PSS, Sabah Temporary Pass.
Peace.
Yes, I have heard of PSS.
You had Pass Sementara Sabah.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it, but I would like a better explanation. I know it's supposed to take over from a lot of things, IMM 13 and a few other things, and make it all under one department and one ID system.
All right. So basically, what is PSS? PSS is a temporary, some sort of like documentation issued by the immigration department for those who actually holding either IMM 13, Kad Burung-Burung. Please do not ask me why is it called Kad Burung-Burung, or the Sijil Banci. All right. So if you are holder of any of these three, you are entitled to get a new PSS. So here's the background a little bit if you don't know what's all these three. So IM13 was issued in the 70s for humanitarian refugee from the southern Philippines, Mindanao area. So at that time, there was some conflict by the government, Marcos. So these people had to flee their homelands to go to Sabah. All right?
Yeah.
Political asylum. And that's about it. And Kad Burung-Burung was issued in 80s for economic refugee. Also for the Sijil Banci.
Okay.
But Sijil Banci in 90s, Kad Burung-Burung in the 80s.
All right.
All right. So these are the differences and why they're called in such name. Also, another differences that you should be aware of is the first one, IM13, was issued by the immigration. All right. That's immigration department. Kad Burung-Burung was issued by Chief Minister Office. All right. So that's another different issuer. The third one, Sijil Banci, was issued by the National Security Council. So three different separate entities, but within the government, but also different in terms of, because definitely immigration have more power and in this kind of issue. So what the government, that Shafi'i government trying to propose was, first of all, let's unify this, consolidate everything under immigration. That's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
By any standard, that's a good idea.
And Sabah immigration is not under federal, right?
It's not under
state.
federal.
Yeah.
Sabah and Sarawak have their own
state
own autonomy on that. Oh, Nikki, is there any slight?
I think the countries in Asia, Southeast Asia, needs to be like EU, European Union, where you have freedom of movement.
Yeah, man.
So we should have freedom of movement in Southeast Asia. So we don't have this problem. So doesn't matter if you are from Philippines or from Thailand, you can freely enter, work in this country just like in EU. Polish citizen can freely go into England, work there, but they're not going to give, because of Brexit, they're not going to be given citizenship, right? But they will be given the opportunity to work. So it's good for the economy, and Southeast Asia needs to be like that for us to be competitive.
Like colonization, everything. What kick-started colonization? Like I don't even know why. Apart from like thinking, oh, they came here because they want to conquer us. Like, why did they even start like leaving? Why did they start exploring?
Western colonization. Why Western colonization happened was the fault of the Ottoman Empire.
Bloody Turkish.
Yeah.
Turkish people. I mean, you mean Boris descendant?
Yeah, Boris Johnson.
So what happened was the Ottoman Empire in 1453 conquered Constantinople, the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantium. So what happened was when the Ottoman Empire conquered Constantinople, they restricted the supply of spices into Europe.
Okay.
So when they restricted the supply of spices into Europe, the prices of spices shot up. So the nobles, the elite in Europe need their spices. So what happened after that? The European started their age of exploration, where one went through South Africa to get the spices in India. And Christopher Columbus said, oh, wait, I can do better. I can go directly to India by a sea route, by the Atlantic. So he discovered the Americas. So just imagine, at this point of time, the Ottoman was more advanced than the European.
Yeah.
Right? But because the Ottoman conquered Constantinople and choked the supply of spices into Europe, they started the age of exploration.
It's like this trees thing, like people keep talking about. Like, do you guys?
Oh yeah. I saw that online. Yeah.
Yeah, the team trees. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Like 20 million trees, for $20 million.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I find it's like I think it's rich coming like from these Western developed nations trying to tell us like, oh yeah, you need to do this, you need to take care of your forest, blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but look at their forests. If you look at the map of like where their trees were before and things like that, right? They've devastated their own land. Now they expect us to pick up the slack of this climate emergency that they kicked off. It's not to say that we are not polluting the earth too. I mean, China is doing a lot. Africa is industrializing like hugely. So, we can't just completely say, oh, this is all the Western countries' fault. But they keep trying to tell us what to do without actually investing in us or things like that. And they keep coming up with these crappy solutions like team trees. I have a problem with that because the problem with team trees are you start having people thinking this is the way that we need to do it. This is a great way of doing it. It's cheap. It's $1 per tree. It's not just $1 per tree though, because if you do it wrong, then it's very expensive. Because if you look at like Pakistan said 5 billion trees or something, or 1 billion trees. And Sudan or Ethiopia, I can't remember. Ethiopia said they were going to do 500 or 1 billion trees. But if you just plant the tree there and you don't plant the right trees, or you don't watch it for the next 3 or 4 years, then you can't just count all of those trees. And so I don't understand. Like, I think this $1 per tree, this is a way for charities to make it seem easy to get more funding. So I understand why they're saying that as well, but it becomes a moral hazard. The solution is we have to slow down consumption. We have to start building. We still have to get off fossil fuels, start going renewable. And the other problem with telling us to stop cutting down forests is we are not as developed. We need this money. Yeah. Like unless they start paying and start giving us money to conserve forests, then they. Yep.
Very quick one.
All right. Thank you for listening. And we have a Patreon that's not set up yet. So if you want to start giving us money to talk, then
you can just just transfer to my private bank account. That's all right. Acceptable.
I'm at Al-Rajhi Bank.
But in seriousness, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, also Spotify. Right? So catch us there by the name of Kopitiam Council. And we are signing out now.